199. In sports, the Blues lost to Nashville 5-2 at Enterprise Center. It's a brief respite for the Note tonight before back-to-back home games beginning with Winnipeg tomorrow night. We're looking for an afternoon high today near 56 degrees, mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low around 37, sunny tomorrow with a high of 55. At 7 minutes past 10 o'clock, sunshine, 40 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Morning and welcome. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Man, do we have a good program for you, and we're doing it for free. Dr. Rick, 1020, get the questions in. Jane Kennedy, a trailblazing superstar in entertainment and sportscasting, is going to be in studio. She's here for the Urban League. She'll be here 10:35. Joe Holloman at 11. And then back to the feature with Tariq Khan, Misery. How good is that?
It's so good. I saw that movie in 1990 in theaters, have not seen it since, had forgotten about some major plot points. Definitely can see why Kathy Bates became such an incredible star, because that was just a great performance, but can't wait to talk about it.
Yes, and Tariq is the absolute best, too. Last night, he said, I can get you somebody to shoot post-game, and my response was, well, that's the least you can do, and that's normally what you do. So I really zinged him. So last night, I go up in this little studio at 10:25, and you have to have a pass to get back down, to go back to my office, and I locked myself out. Mm-hmm. And then I had to call him. And he goes, oh, after what you just wrote me, you expect me to help you out? So he got the last laugh.
He is, I mean, if I had to name, I've had the privilege of knowing hundreds, thousands, potentially people in my life. Tariq Khan's going to make the top 5 list of kindest, friendliest, just calmest, caring people.
He's the best.
Yeah, he really, really is. And in a job where that doesn't always attract any of those adjectives.
Like working for the IRS. Nobody likes the assignment editor.
Yes, very true. Unfortunately, Connor McCarthy is under the weather today. He came in and kind of toughed it out yesterday, and we said, please, Connor, the holidays are coming. You've got to stay home and get better. None of us want to get sick. And so, fortunately, our friend Carl, the intern middleman, was available.
Yes.
You had a late night last night, early today, and yet you're still...
It was awful last night. It was very moving last night at the hockey game because it was Hockey Fights Cancer, and Kelly Chase made an appearance, and there were tears in the audience last night.
There literally was. Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
And this is a career achievement for you being a part of this program, correct?
With both of you here, normally one of you is gone.
Yes.
And now I have finally made it.
We really appreciate it. I know because of the millions of jobs that you have, you will not be able to stay for the entire show.
Yes.
So we bring in Josh. It's just a party around here. Josh will be here for the second half of the show.
For Josh.
We're fighting to be with you
Yeah,
guys.
that's good to hear.
Yeah, you said no one gets the whole show. We have
No,
to split it because
not
that's
worthy.
too unfair. Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot
All
of
right,
sense.
let's begin with the opening dialogue. We're going to begin this a little bit earlier today because of our guest list. So here's thought one. Here's the one thing that we should always remember. When somebody is killed, either shut up or show respect. It's not hard to do. There are only 2 options. Those are the only 2 options. Yesterday, the President of the United States took the time in a tweet to say the death was caused by the anger he caused others through Trump derangement syndrome. You can like gas prices now, or the border being shut down, or men not playing women's sports and ceasefires, but I don't know a soul who thought that insensitive tweet was a good idea. One of the most talented people in movie-making history and his wife were stabbed to death, allegedly by their son. You either don't say anything or you say something nice about that person's career. I know he said a lot of negative things about Trump in the past, but please, shut up then. I know people on the other side will say, well, a lot of people said crass things after Charlie Kirk was killed. You know who didn't? Rob Reiner. He expressed compassion. The president needs a dose of it. That's my thought one.
Yep, it was tough. I knew we were both going to have feelings about it today. And we both came in hot after Charlie Kirk and said, this is not okay. It's not okay to say things that are unkind about somebody who has just died. And it's just a simple rule. My prayer is we can go back to some more decency and decorum in our language and the way we talk to each other in 2026. May that go straight from our mouths to God's ears on that. Alton Main Street, one of those special places in St. Louis, just won a big award over on the other side of the river. Farmers, artisan markets, starting to draw people back in an area that unfortunately had lost a lot of population in the last decades. And it got me thinking about St. Charles Main Street. Have you ever been there around the holiday time?
It's very nice. Very underrated for people who have never been there. Yeah.
It's a movie set.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you would see I would hold it up to anywhere in the United States, just in terms of how adorable it is. And so I love to hear that Alton is the same kind of a place. But I thought to myself, I don't think a lot of people know about those historic main streets that are doing this incredible rejuvenation, retail coming in, businesses back to having storefronts with things like lawyers' offices. So what do you guys have to tell us? Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. What's a historic main street in our area? We hear so much about downtowns going downhill and the issues there, but what's a place that maybe is a little off the beaten path or that maybe we haven't heard of yet that we should take a visit for that sense of kind of going back to the way things used to be when it comes to a main street in our region that gets it right, and what makes you keep going back?
Tell you what's a beautiful place is Westport. It is really nice. I mean, the Basso's and lots of cool places around here.
Yeah, the holiday decorations.
It's
and
nice.
you're right, Basso's on the plaza out here has given some new life
Well, you're
to
like
the
their
lunch.
best customer.
I know, I'm going there today, actually.
Again?
I am.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? You can't hide wealth, can you, Carl? I mean,
No.
she's in this expensive
Look
clothing
at that
again.
jacket. It's
She
the
looks like
best.
Linda Evans from Dynasty.
You
Oh,
should get on
tune in
YouTube or
on You-
Facebook and see.
I do. I look like a snowball is what I look like, but I'm owning it
Fringe
today.
like a
All right,
Taylor
thought two.
Swift.
I want some feedback on this one, 84126 Royal Banks Missouri text line. The text being sent to the wrong person. I bet there's not a soul who's active on their phone who has not either sent a text to the wrong person or gotten a text that was not meant for you. And I'm saying something with ramifications, like not to your daughter a text that was meant to your son, asking for, like, can you come over to watch the game or something like that. I mean something kind of zinging, okay? That if you sent it to the wrong person and it was poignant, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I'm not sure what is worse, receiving one that is critical of you or sending one that was critical of somebody else that you didn't mean to send to that person. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember once Jill was texting her beloved husband, John, and actually texted me by accident, and it read, Frank is such a D-head.
No, that is not true. I did accidentally text you, though, but do you remember what it was? It was something very confusing.
It was goofy.
It was good, and you were like, "Is this for me?" And yeah, it was. It wasn't bad, but it was just definitely
Yeah, it was
out of
something
the
about
blue.
lunch at the Women's Exchange. I know it wasn't for me. All right, anyway, true story. I got one, and it wasn't meant for me. And the person was critical of my line of questions in an interview. And the person
Dun, dun,
then
dun.
said, and I'm not going to watch the story. Now, I did not respond. The person didn't respond either. And I know the person knew, oh gosh, I sent it to him. It was about him. The story aired, and it turned out pretty cool. And then I got an apology text. So the question is, your best story about this, your hairiest story about a text, and if it was about you and you got it, do you respond? And I didn't. Just don't fire back.
Mm-hmm. The right thing happened, though. An apology was
Yes,
issued as
yeah.
it should have been. And how did you take it?
Oh,
Are you taking it as somebody had a moment of an emotional response and
Yeah.
they truly, you accept the apology that they're remorseful?
But you can do that, but still always have in the back of your mind, But you've probably done it even more serious than the one you sent to John about me, right?
No, I haven't. I can't, or at least I don't know if I did it by mistake. I occasionally will get a text like that from you, but more often than not, if I have to call you, like, because we actually need to talk in real time about the guest or something, I can usually guess there's about a 50% chance that I'm going to get a butt dial from you at some point. And so it's funny because my phone will ring and I'll say, "Oh, it's Frank," and John will be with me, and he's like, what do you think it's going to be, that it's a real caller or a butt dial?" And I said, usually it's about the 50 to 75% chance he's just calling. So I've heard you had some good conversations with somebody else when you dialed me, and nothing too revealing has come out of it, but I have heard you.
You didn't hear me talking to a woman named Stacy? Or...
No, I have never heard you talk to anybody that you pretend that you're talking to. Besides, speaking of which, we do have Jane Kennedy coming up later in the show. Scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to be in? Yeah, I think it's an 11.
Yeah. All right, you're up.
St. Charles County looking for ways to help that family arena make a little more money, and that can include no longer being called the Family Arena, according to some reporting in St. Louis Magazine this week. County Council meeting out in St. Charles, they reviewed the projected 2025 deficit, $10.4 million in expected revenue, but they're going to have about $11.5 million in expenses. So they're talking about maybe doing some naming rights. Now, they did say, the person who sort of runs Family Arena said, yes, we've floated that before. Nobody has been beating down our door to get those naming rights so far, but it's worth having the conversation. And as somebody pointed out in the reporter that wrote this, that'll be great. Somebody will pay money to get it named, and then we'll all still call it the Family Arena forever, because that's just what we do.
Yeah, well, if you can make money on it, I have no problem with it. Okay, thought 3. Final thought. Best 2 purchases of 2025 for me. You know about the first, the steam in the shower. I mean, the speaker playing either podcast or Pendergrast and the pores opening up. I haven't sniffled in 6 months. But purchase number 2, second best purchase of 2025, Costco Friday, $19.99, the pants with lining. I wore them Friday. I wore them Saturday. I wore them Sunday. I wore them all day yesterday. You do not feel a hint of cold. Lululemon, Mizzen Main, Cavado, overrated. It's Costco for pants. I put them on today again, and Monique said, "You're not wearing those again." And she took them off. And then I had to stop her from doing other things. But anyway, what is the sleeper purchase for you? And let's just say it's got to be under $50. For me, Costco pants, I love it.
Okay, you've just reminded me of my favorite new thing that I just discovered in my life, which is fleece-lined tights for women.
Really?
Because I enjoy
never heard of
wearing
that.
a skirt and a boots, and
Yeah,
it's
that
invented in
seems
the last
cool.
couple of years. And they designed it so the tight on the outside, it actually looks like you're in sheer tights, but you got about an eighth of an inch of nice warm fleece. So I've been throwing on skirts and dresses more often, even when the weather's cold. You can get them at places like Target. You can get them on Amazon. Google
What
it.
a great idea.
$15 to $19, and it's like having a pair of leggings on instead of just tights.
Do you have those on, Carl, right now? Or?
I'm wearing both of those, the tights and the pants.
I was going to say, when you put both on at the same time, that is crazy. Wall Street Journal, and a story that I could really identify with, and I bet a big portion of you guys listening could, and it's a feature on the cult of Kohl's Cash. Do you guys know anything about Kohl's Cash?
No.
Okay,
Yes.
well, there's a lot of us of a certain age and a certain income level who know a lot about Kohl's Cash, because for every $50 you spend on qualifying purchases, you can earn $10 in Kohl's Cash, which means it is like a part-time job if you do it right in being able to redeem it and
You have
do
to
the
keep
special
going
deals.
back.
You have to keep going back, but also you can do stuff like, as they feature in the Wall Street Journal in the article, a woman who only paid 15 cents for a sweater because she used her Kohl's Cash. It's a little like the Bed Bath & Beyond oversized the 20% off coupon, where you'd never walk in that store for years unless you had that 20% off. That was the way you were kind of gaming the system, even though, to Carl's point, it's really just about getting us in there to spend money.
Over and over.
And over and again.
You never break even. Never.
And you're saying Kohl's, the department store?
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And so you keep getting the Kohl's Cash, but you can't use it only at Kohl's, and so you never break even. So you always have extra Kohl's Cash.
So this is my version of the betting apps, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
It's called my an
It's your
addiction to Kohl's Cash
$300.
is my $300 that the betting companies are, and I'm no better than somebody who's addicted to betting on their phones. But anyway, it's a fun article in the Wall Street Journal that takes a look at this phenomenon. That if you've never been in there, you don't care about Kohl's, you don't get it. But if you're a Kohl's Cash person, back me up on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126. It is a game to be able to win at, isn't it?
It sounds interesting. That sounds fun. Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back. Dr. Rick, if you got a question, get them in fast.
Miller Furniture are favorites when it comes to having the best in home furnishings in our St. Louis region. They know that it's a crazy time of year for a lot of reasons, and they know that you still need things like a new bed sometimes to be able to host the family that's coming in, or the couch that you looked at over the Thanksgiving holiday and said, really, this should not live here for one more day. Some really good sales, end-of-year sales happening right now at Miller Furniture. Check them out online at millerfurniture.com, MUELLER furniture.com. Some stuff is ready to go today. It can be delivered to you immediately. Or maybe you just want to give each other the gift. You and your spouse say, we have way too much other stuff. What we really need is a new table. Let's go in together, pick out our dream table, make it custom. It's going to be American made. It's going to be Amish made by artisans. It'll last you for decades. Let's go pick it out, and we'll have it delivered in the new year. One of the 4 locations, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis at the Meadows, Ellisville off Manchester Road, or the flagship in Belleville, Illinois, Miller Furniture.
We sell siding, windows, doors, and decking by the truckload. My name is Julius Krasanik, celebrating 53 years in this business. Our company is Wholesale Siding Depot, and our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, door, and decking knowledge. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
The brands that we sell are durable, maintenance-free, and energy-saving. Featuring Anderson, CertainTeed, Viwinco, Provia, Masonite, TimberTech, and others, offering the best selection of styles and colors available in this industry. And better yet, our prices are wholesale every day. Last, our Peace of Mind initiative also includes a free contractor referral service to take care of your installation concerns or needs. You are just one click away from keeping it local, family, and professional. Please visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Okay, so the tree is up, but it's tilting towards the side door. All right, look, you got to get it straight. Go to Schnarr's Hardware, Clayton Road in Ladue or in Webster on Lockwood. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, and they have everything for the holidays, whether it's extra extension cords, maybe a couple of extra lights, last-minute gift. Oh, Aunt Sally's coming. She's bringing you a gift. I got to get something. Schnarr's Hardware will help you out. You need to put the lawn to bed? Yeah, Schnarr's Hardware has all sorts of winterized fertilizers to help you get through these winter months. You see, at Schnarr's Hardware, it's more than just a friendly neighborhood hardware store. It's a part of Americana, and it has brought St. Louisans together for years. So when you walk into Schnarr's Hardware, you'll notice the customer service is great, the smell is great, the popcorn is free. Schnarr's Hardware. Happy holidays from Schnarr's Hardware. Make sure your holiday is complete with a trip to Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware, Merry Christmas.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
It's Thomas! St. Louis Ambush Indoor Soccer returns to the Family Arena this Sunday at 3:05 p.m. to battle cross-state rival the Kansas City Comets on Military Night at the Family Arena and be a part of the always popular Teddy Bear Toss.
spins it in.
Make your plans to catch all the end-to-end action as your ambush battle, the Kansas City Comet. Get there early for the Ambush Player Card Giveaway presented by Tucano's Brazilian Grill. Tickets available at the Family Arena box office or at Ticketmaster.com.
KTRS St. Louis, the Big 550, and KTRS.com.
All right, welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Jane Kennedy coming up in a little bit. Dr. Rick joins us now. Dr. Rick, here's a question. Everybody is into these Juice Pluses, and the Juice Pluses have fruits, and then they have vegetables. If you're doing that, does that like alleviate your need to actually eat broccoli? And does that like give you enough of it?
No. So the problem with that is all those are denatured, and they've taken out basically all the liquid, and you've really lost a great deal of the antioxidant effect. So it's better than nothing. You know, it's better than eating a cheeseburger maybe. But in terms of, hey, I'm going to do this instead of having an apple or having some berries or having some broccoli or asparagus, no, it's not the same thing. So it's a good augment. Everybody should take some Juice Plus type supplement, but no, that's not going to alleviate your ability to eat real vegetables. So eat your vegetables.
Dr. Rick from the Royal Banks of Missouri text line, one of our listeners would like to know what your thoughts are on the recovery time for Patrick Mahomes and his knee injury. Did it end up being a torn ACL?
Yeah, it was a torn ACL. He's got a torn meniscus, and I think you're probably looking at a year, hopefully 9 months if things go very well, but generally 9 to 12 months. And, I think that it was a pretty significant injury if you looked at the hyperextension moment. So the other things you worry about are trauma to the joint surface. And again, I think he has a meniscal tear as well. So again, I think the time frame is going to be generally what it usually is, 9 to 12 months.
So you would doubt he would be ready opening day, although there's a shot.
There is a shot. And, the problem is he may be ready, but the graft isn't going to be ready. So it always makes us a little bit nervous to send people back early because even though the range of motion is good, their quad strength is good, it takes the ACL graft a certain amount of time to mature and get strong. And we know that time frame for re-injury is usually within the first 3-4 months of coming back. So we used to just say, hey, you're ready to go rock and roll, go play. And now we've been a little bit more conservative because we know that the graft could be at a weaker spot. So we try to wait to get to a year.
Okay, so you sent us something about tanning beds, and I think most people know by now, really a bad idea, and they're at a higher risk of skin cancer. I read something the other day, though, about sunscreen and the negative aspect of that. Your wife, by the way, is the skin expert. What's your take on sunscreens, and then a quick thought on the tanning beds?
Well, so I think sunscreens are good and bad. Sunscreens are good because they protect your skin, but there are some contents in some of the PFSs that have negative effects, some liver effects, and can create some vascular or bloodborne issues, and you worry about leukemias, et cetera. So some people feel that the sunscreens have some of the sunscreens have products in them that are not very healthy. So again, it's a balancing act. You want to get a skin cancer, and the real answer is to get the skin products, the skin sunscreens, and all skin products that don't have the negative bromines, the PFSs, some of the things that are quote unquote cancer producing. And I think you have to do your homework, read the labels, and it's a bit of an effort, but it's worth doing because inexpensive, not well-made sunscreens, like many things, have bad stuff in them. I think tanning beds are terrible for you. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. You look great, and that's the positive. It breaks down your skin, and it has a lot of negatives long-term. So it's pay me now or pay me later. So you see these people, and they're 55, 60 years old. Their skin just looks like leather. They look terrible, and they've been out in the sun, in their 20s, just baking away. And again, in their 20s, they look great. In their 50s and 60s, they look terrible. More importantly, it increases your risk of skin cancer. So that's the reason not to get in the tanning bed.
Dr. Rick, I think several of our listeners want for Christmas is an answer to their medical questions. Can I do a quick firing round here for you of these before we let you go today? Number one,
rock and roll.
Somebody says, if I've got bulging varicose veins, is it dangerous or just unsightly?
Unsightly.
Okay, so they don't have to worry about it. Somebody else, diagnosed with the DVT in lower calf, blood thinners for 3 weeks. How long does it take for the clot to dissolve?
4 to 5 days. And, some people actually don't treat those at all. So, again, that's probably a pretty good treatment, and it will dissolve in 4 to 5 days and get better for probably the first 6 weeks. Next.
I'm 50 years old. When I lie down at night, I get numbness in my arm. Any idea what this could be?
Most likely carpal tunnel syndrome. You could have a herniated disc in your neck, but you probably have carpal tunnel syndrome.
Will 1,000 milligrams of turmeric do anything for my arthritic knee joints?
Yes. Take your turmeric. You have to take it consistently, and you want to take it, pretty much every day, and it might take 3-4 months, but yes, it is beneficial.
Is a spray tan better than a tanning booth?
Yes. Neither are great, but spray tan is safer, no question.
What are the negatives of the spray tan, though?
You look orange.
Again, good spray tan has very few negatives, and some of them, just like anything that you spray, disinfectants, cleaning products, all these have some chemicals, bromides, different chemicals, and they can cause cancer. So, again, anything you spray on your skin that has bad things that get absorbed are negative. And again, Google the materials and make sure that you're not putting something on your body that's precancerous.
I'm 70, getting some cataracts taken care of. Should I spend the money on getting my stigmatism corrected too?
Absolutely.
Oh, good
All right.
stuff.
Dr. Rick, great stuff as usual. We appreciate your time. We will talk next week. Thank you, sir.
If I ever get asked
Take
to go
care.
on Jeopardy, please remind me to take Dr. Rick with me because he is
my goodness.
very good at answering those questions right. We fire at him
Yeah,
and he
he's
comes
an
right back.
orthopedic surgeon, but he can give you anything on anything.
Well, he loves science and data, so he's constantly sending us new new studies and new research and new articles that are interesting for you guys as well. But we appreciate you guys taking the time to send us the information. Hey, really breaking news here. You guys may have already heard it, but if you haven't yet, I need you to know Jeff Zufall has written a new book, and it's coming out in 2026. It's called it's a continuation of his Keep What's Yours, and it has to do with the big, beautiful tax bill and just all the things in there that a lot of people don't realize are there. We're going to have him on in the not too distant future to talk about the new book and all the exciting things that have to do that we all need to know about that big, beautiful tax bill and how it impacts us and could impact you as a business person, as an average Joe. And I just think it's really cool that he's one of those people that never sits stagnant. He doesn't say, I've been doing this for a long time, so I know everything there is to know about wealth management. He's really excited about saving people money on their taxes so they can build wealth over time that way. And that's what makes Capital Advisory Group different. It's what makes them stand out. Check them out today, capitaladvisorygrp.com. Better yet, write this number down, 636-394-5524, and set up your appointment with Jeff Zufall and his team to start saving on your taxes now.
As if you need another reason to go to Appliance Discounters, they always have the lowest prices in town. Plus, take an extra 5% off an instant rebate when you purchase from Appliance Discounters. They also have factory rebates up to $1,500. They have next-day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing. The #1 appliance retailer in the region, theappliancediscounters.com. 6 locations. 5% off starting today. TheApplianceDiscounters.com.
Let's talk about legacy. Yingling, 196 years of brewing. So meet the next generation of light beer. Flight, just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Flight is crisp, clean, and actually tastes like beer. It's time to level up, St. Louis. Flight from Yingling.
Winter is here, along with the rain, the sleet, the snow, and the salt. It gets all over your car. You need to wash it off at Country Club Car Wash, your local car wash. McGraw here. Tomorrow through Christmas, take advantage of Country Club Car Washes. Buy 2 washes and get 2 extra free. Available in-store and at all Country Club Car Wash locations. Also online at cccwstl.com. And remember, To listen every day for the Country Club Car Wash text of the day. Check them out online, cccwstl.com. Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
This holiday season, I feel like Manchester Road, just west of 141, is just one of the fantastic spots in St. Louis you need to be. Marketplace at the Abbey has everything to make your home feel like Santa's workshop. All kinds of wonderful gifts for people. Also, there's the Abbey Baby and then the Abbey's ladies' clothing section. So many gift ideas, so many wonderful things that have already been curated by Laura Wilson, the owner. You can always go online too, marketplaceattheabbey.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
On the first day of Christmas, 550 gave to me.
The Big 550 celebrates the 12 days of Christmas by giving the gifts to you. Each weekday during the event, go to KTRS.com and find the KTRS tab to register for the daily prize, which changes each weekday at midnight. 12 days, 12 prizes. And Heidi Glaus will announce the winner the next day. It's that simple. Be sure to register to win today's prize. Tickets to a St. Louis Blues game from the Big 550 KTRS. The 12 Days of Christmas from Blessed Jewelers, Yenser Family Dental, Annie Guns and the Smokehouse Market, Rawlings and the Rawlings Experience, C.R. Frank Popcorn, Guido's Pizzeria and Tapas, and the Big 550 KTRS.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
Gosh, I love that music. The old NFL Today music with Brent Musburger, Jimmy the Greek, and a young lady named Jane Kennedy. Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show. The irony of the title of your book, Plain Jane. There's nothing plain about you. A trailblazer in every sense of the word. The first black Miss Ohio, 1970. The first black female in America on national television as a sportscaster. An actress, a model, an Emmy Award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, Jane Kennedy, what an honor to have you in. I got to tell you, normally I tell my friends when we have a big-time guest, hey, I'm going to have so-and-so on, and they're really excited. I didn't want to tell them because I'd have a bunch of stalking friends outside the studio dying to meet you. Welcome to the program. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm fantastic, and it's been such a pleasure being here in St. Louis.
Right off the bat, the Urban League is the reason you're here, and that's one of the great organizations we have in our town. Tell me about it.
Exactly. We went there last night, and I just had an amazing time, learned so much about what they do. And I was just blown away by all the services they offer. Yeah. And it's the largest one in the United States. And I mean, everybody is so committed, and it was just amazing. The experience was so warm and welcoming. But I'm just absolutely blown away by the whole organization. So thank you for bringing me here. and especially for this occasion.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I've never seen Frank so excited in his life. I got a lot of texts to prove it that he's going to have to pay me to not show to somebody else. This was a big deal, and we really appreciate having you here. But I have just started on the book. It's so well written. It's really, really interesting, and I love. You tell the story of what led to some of the highlights that Frank talked about here, and then you also talk about some things that haven't been talked about before as well. Talk about the process of sort of releasing all of this stuff that had been held in for a long time for you. What has that been like?
That was the whole reason that I started to write to begin with, whether it became a book or whether it was just my personal journey.
It was cathartic.
It was, and I had come to a point in my life where I couldn't keep all this crap in my mind anymore, and I had to put it on paper. And so when I first started, you'd see pieces of paper all over the place, and my files were crazy because nothing worked anywhere. It was just, okay, let me write about this today. And then I was going to try to put all the pieces together. But it was truly a journey, and I'm so proud of the final product. And to hear you say, the first thing you said was, you're such a good writer. And that means the world to me because I've never written anything before in the form of a book. And so, everybody say, oh, I love this story, I love this. But you complimented my writing skills, and I truly appreciate that.
Well, and let's face it, I'm not sure if there's many books that have ever begun in such a dramatic fashion. I mean, you tell what you want to tell here, but it was about the video. And I'm telling you, you open the book and you just can't stop turning the page.
That's wonderful to hear. I didn't intend for it to be that way. I wanted everything to be chronological because the tape incident did not come as people thought it was. Like immediately when I got my divorce, they assumed that that's when the tape was released. But it wasn't. It wasn't until 10 years later. I had already been remarried and I already had children, and my career was skyrocketing. And then when this came, everything came to a dead stop. All my engagements were canceled. All of my endorsements were canceled, and nobody called except to cancel. And it was very devastating because that would not have happened to a man. He would have been applauded. And for me, I was the first. Again, a list of the long list of first in my career. That's one that I could have done without.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, does it get to be exhausting to be a trailblazer on so many fronts at some point? When you look back on that time when you were the first national sports broadcaster as a woman, talk about what that was like for you to know that you were sort of paving the way. Although, as you pointed out, there hasn't been another woman since then, so that you paved it well. We just need to have some more people get on that road.
Exactly. For that show, And the thing is that we didn't really know, I didn't really know that we were paving the way and that we were doing these wonderful things. I was just going to work every day. We didn't have social media. We didn't have podcasts. We didn't have people talking about all of these issues of the day, all day, every day, 24 hours. We had only ABC, CBS, and NBC. And so when I got to New York for the audition, they didn't even tell us who we were going to interview. So we couldn't do research. We had none of those things available to us. And as a matter of fact, we got our updates when we're sitting on the desk and someone would reach under the desk and hand you a piece of paper, and that's your update. We didn't have big screens, and all the electronics that you have today. This was like a dinosaur. In the industry. And it was almost impossible to compare the quality of that show to today's quality, but you can absolutely compare the effect that it had on the world and on the industry, because the NFL today set the standard for all of the shows to come. Yeah. And including me as a black woman, there's so many people have told me, they come up to me on the streets, you have no idea how much you impacted my family, not just herself, but my family. And she would say, my father used to make his 3 daughters sit in front of the TV every Sunday. And he would say, you see that black girl up there? She's doing something that everybody told her she couldn't do. That means whatever you want to do in life, you can do it too. And when her father passed away, they called and invited me to the funeral. And I said, I don't really know you, because again, you don't know the impact you're making on people. And when she told me the story, I had to go. Mm-hmm. I had to go.
Yeah, and when you hear somebody like Robin Roberts say on Good Morning America, you're the reason I'm in this business because I saw
Yes.
somebody that looked like me. Now, hey, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
Now, I want to take you back.
Even Oprah said that too.
Wow.
Oprah used to say, she said she and Gail would sit in front of the TV every Sunday and watch me and say, color people on TV, color people on TV. And it made her and Gail know that they could do their dreams and make them come true as well.
I want to talk about like the pressure though when you get the job because you're replacing a Miss America and Phyllis George on the most popular show there is.
Yes.
And during the audition, if I read this correctly, it was you and the other 15 had blonde hair and blue eyes.
Exactly.
And they chose you.
Exactly.
How do you remember that?
Oh, I remember it well because Brent Musburger, after he interviewed, he was part of the interview process.
Oh.
And after he interviewed me, and I must have been 12 out of the 15, 16, and he stood up and he said, it's Jane or nobody. He didn't interview the remaining candidates because he said he knew that I had, the first part was on camera with Brent Musburger. The second part was reading teleprompter copy. And the third part of the audition was interviewing an athlete whom they did not tell us who he was. And I had gotten to know him in the makeup room. I went and asked him, do you play backgammon? Because I seen a backgammon board. And he said, yes, I do. And we just sat there and played backgammon until it was time to go on camera. And it went so well, because we were warm, we were comfortable, and it wasn't like a stranger to him or to me. And so when Brent Musburger said when he saw that chemistry, that was what they wanted. But they couldn't hire me because that was Irv Cross on the desk, me and Brent Musburger, which meant 2 blacks and 1 white. And the Southern affiliates were having an issue with that. So they sent my audition tape to the Southern affiliates, and they said, yes, we agree with you. That's the pick. But how can we fix this problem? Because we're not going to do that.
Oh, my God.
And so Jimmy the Greek was already doing stats on the show, so they put him on the desk. That meant 2 blacks, 2 whites.
Wow, super interesting. Thanks so much for filling us in on that, Jane Kennedy, who's, if you're just joining us, of course, you watched her, you loved her. She's written a great book, Plain Jane, in St. Louis for a wonderful Urban League event, headlining that here in St. Louis as well. So you mentioned earlier, speaking of chemistry and friendships, Terry Bradshaw, somebody that you've been friends with for a very long time. Best Terry Bradshaw story you have?
The best one? Well, there's so many. But I'm going to say the best one would be they showed me, I did a special 2 years ago as the pregame for the Super Bowl. And they asked me to be on it because they were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the NFL today. And there's only Brent and I left. All of the other, we didn't really have a lot, but they were all had passed away. So Brent and I were on stage, and we did all of the pieces. And then afterwards, Brent had gone, and they came up to me and they said, we want to show you a piece, and we want to record how you're feeling about that. And so they showed me 2 pieces, actually. And one was Terry Bradshaw sitting in a restaurant, and Phyllis walks in, and they're getting ready for the interview. And she starts talking, and she's asking a question. He doesn't answer, and she said something else, and she's laughing. And, he's just laid back, sitting with his hand and his chin on his hand. And she said, well, what's up? What's wrong with you? You're not answering the questions. He said, I'm waiting for Jane Kennedy.
That is awesome.
And then the other one, oh my gosh, what was the other one? I'll think of it later.
We all know how young professional athletes can be really flirtatious. And I'm wondering, you are this stunning creature that every male would love to go on a date with. I'm wondering, when you're interviewing some of these athletes, did any of them ever try, hey, would you like to get a drink after the interview? I'm sure they had it in the back of their mind.
Well, yeah, and there was no problem with that. It wasn't like going out with somebody, it was, I wanted to be friends with these people.
Yeah.
And so going out to get a drink, that was no problem for me. And Walter Payton had already issued an edict throughout the entire NFL. Doug Williams from Tampa Bay told me that Walter said, we are going to support our Jane Kennedy. We are going to make sure that she succeeds in this role. And he said, we're going to respect her and we're going to take care of her. And that meant the world to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got to get the endorsement from the best player in the league.
Yeah. And Brent said that somebody had asked him, why doesn't Jane come and interview us? And Brent said, well, when you start winning, she will.
It's a reward. Yes, that's cool.
Before we let you go,
No, we're going to do hit and run before we go.
Okay.
So we got plenty of time.
Okay, great.
Hit some music here. There we go. So now these are no hedging questions. First celebrity meeting that you had that left you awestruck.
Are we on right now?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we went to a commercial break. I'm
Super good at
sorry.
explaining
Okay, so I'd have to say it was Bob Hope. I had just gotten to Los Angeles, and and Smokey Robinson was a good friend of my ex-husband, and so Smokey was in town. I picked him up at the airport, and he likes homemade dinner. So whenever he came to L.A., I would make him a homemade dinner. So I'm sitting in the audience seats. It's just for rehearsal, so there's no audience. And Bob Hope came over to me, and he said, how would you like to go with me on the Bases on the Around the World Christmas tour? It was a Bob Hope special, I should
Wow.
say. And I said, well, I already ran on the audition last week, and they turned me down. I mean, I'm brand new in Hollywood. That's like the last thing you should say. He said, well, let me say it this way. I want you to come with me on the Bob Hope Bases Around the World Christmas tour.
Boy, that's
and I
unbelievable.
said, yes, I can.
Right, but
And
these-
then I said, how did he know? And then years later, I found out that he was talking to Smokey backstage, and Leon was in the room, and he called him, he said, hey, Packy East. and Bob turned around, he said, why did you say that? He said, because that was your name when you lived in Cleveland and you were boxing. You were a boxer. And he said, and I know all things about you. And he said, you're a big hero of mine. And so that's when Bob Hope came over and invited me.
All right, word association. First thing just pops in your head.
Yes.
Brent Musburger.
Fabulous.
Muhammad Ali.
Dear.
Red Fox.
Crazy as hell.
Proudest moment for you ever in the booth or in studio? What was your finest moment? I know you won an Emmy, but how about its most proud moment?
Well, there's several for many different reasons, but this one was a stinger for me. We were in Tampa Bay, and they were playing Philadelphia in the semifinals. And all of a sudden, Brent turned to me and asked me who did I think was going to win. And he had never done that before. Jimmy the Greek that was his job. And we would ask Irv Cross, but he never asked me that. And so he turned to me and asked me that. And I said, well, I'm going to have to pick Tampa Bay. They had all picked the Philadelphia Eagles. And I said, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay. And they started laughing at me. And I said, no. I had dinner with them all last night because I cooked a dinner for Doug and his friends.
Doug Williams.
At Doug Williams' house, yes. And I said, I know some of the players that have been injured are returning for this game, and they're in fine shape now. And I gave all of my reasons why I thought Tampa was going to win. And they were laughing at me like crazy. And so, end of the game, Tampa Bay won.
Yep.
Tampa Bay won.
And so did you then.
And I did. And it was, and Jimmy the Greek grabbed me afterwards and he said, don't you ever make a prediction on camera again. But, I had the inside scoop.
That is so good.
And
That
so,
is
I
great.
mean, there are a lot of reasons, but that one was my special one.
Anything else we need to know about your great, your appearance with the Great Urban League that we should know about? Lee's right here.
It's a fundraiser and it supports us.
It's a fundraiser. It
Yeah.
supports us.
Yep. Google it, Urban League St. Louis, and you are definitely going to want to meet Jane Kennedy, and you're going to want to read her book, Plain Jane, a memoir. It's excellent. Frank and I are both loving it. We'll be right back after this.
You can buy Plain Jane online at janekennedy.com. And I also have a line of fragrances. That's Jane Kennedy Sun and Jane Kennedy Moon, and both are available at janekennedy.com.
I would like to buy that
Yes,
fragrance.
you
would.
Yes, very good. Such an honor. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Since 1950, Flanagan Paint and Supply is a St. Louis paint company that has been providing the homeowner and professional painters with top quality products, competitive prices, and to be the leading paint company for architectural, commercial, and industrial coatings. With experts in paints and stains and other custom home products on staff, Flanagan's has your resources to be your one-stop for style. With locations in Ellisville, Webster Groves, St. Peters, Edwardsville, and Wentzville, there's a Flanagan's Paint and Supply near you. Online at FlanaganPaint.com.
Shop your ultimate gifts, decor, fashion. Celebrating 30 years. Give the ultimate unique gifts from Christopher's and Mark Anthony's Gifts, St. Louis's premier gifting and decor destination, located in downtown Kirkwood, Missouri. Now 2 brands, 1 location. Visit us at 127 East Argonne, Kirkwood, Missouri, 63122, or online at stlgift.com. Happy holidays from our family to yours. Remember, be kind, gift kindly.
Scott, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
All right, fall and winter is upon us, and so now you got to close the window to keep the heat in. And that window is a sieve. It doesn't work. It doesn't lock. It rattles around in the wind. That means it's time to talk to my friend and neighbor, Larry Thornton, the owner of the window store. He has been a proud owner of that store for 37 years. His son, Joe, and Larry work together to bring you the best in price, selection, and customer service. That's right. They go up against the big boys, and they beat them every single time because they're better price, better selection, customer service is fantastic. They don't stand in the middle of your living room and demand that you buy. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. They love to talk to you, and they love to sell you a window or a door. Better pricing, better company, The Window Store. 314-739-0002 or WSWindow.net.
The final stretch of your career isn't about slowing down. It's about getting strategic. Those last 5 years before retirement can define your financial future, from maximizing contributions and paying off high-interest debt to mapping out health care and testing your post-retirement budget. This is your moment to take control. At Pioneer Wealth Management, we help you connect all the moving parts. Real peace of mind starts long before your final paycheck. Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC. A registered investment advisor. Pioneer Wealth Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated. Life insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Carney, Buck.
On the next Carney Show, we'll talk sports with Frank Cusimano. We'll talk tech with Dan Morin. And George Mahey talks restaurant news. A lot changing for the end of the year and the beginning of a new year. We'll meet you here right at noon.
John Carney, Julie Buck. Weekdays at noon on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Welcome back, Frank and Jill Show. We just had the most fun conversation with Jane Kennedy. And remember, it is the 12 days of Christmas here at KTRS. Big 550 celebrating by giving gifts to you. Day 9 today. Big prize today. Tickets to the St. Louis Blues game from the Big 550 KTRS. And you get to hear our own Carl, the intern middleman, playing the music, enjoying the show. And we need that entertainment these days, the way the Blues have been playing. But I think you guys are a good luck charm. Show up for the Blues. All you have to do is go to KTRS.com, click on the 12 Days of Christmas slider, register for a chance to win. Heidi and Josh announcing the winner the next day. We have an excellent second hour coming up for you as well. So stick around. Lots more coming up on the Frank and Jill Show. We'll talk to you right after the news.
Mizzou football.
It's a rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen.
New details in the murder of director Rob Reiner and wife Michelle Singer. Their son, Nick Reiner, remains in custody after being booked for suspicion of murder and is awaiting formal charges. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles.
Today, LAPD investigators say they will be presenting their case, the evidence, and what they have learned to the LA County DA so the DA can decide on what charges to file against Nick Reiner. He was booked into jail by police on suspicion of murder, but it's a district attorney who decides on what charges to file and actually filing those charges. Once charges are filed, then we'll know when Nick Reiner will make his initial appearance in court for allegedly killing his mom and dad.
The Pentagon announcing U.S. forces carried out 3 more strikes on alleged drug vessels, killing 8 people. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary Pete Hegseth emerging from a closed-door briefing with lawmakers today about multiple military strikes on September 2nd on an alleged Venezuelan drug smuggling boat that killed 2 survivors. Rubio defending the mission in the Caribbean.
This has been a highly successful mission that's ongoing and continued, and we're pleased to be here today to update Congress on how that's developing and how that's moving forward. As I said, I believe it's our 22nd, 23rd such engagement, certainly been at least the 4th or 5th that I've been involved in, and those will remain and be ongoing.
President Trump is also vowing to carry out land strikes in Venezuela. In Rhode Island, police are asking for the public's help to identify a person of interest in the Brown University mass shooting, releasing new video showing a person wearing a hooded jacket and walking the neighborhood. The FBI offering a $50,000 reward. 2 students were killed, 9 others injured. Flood alerts and evacuations underway in the Pacific Northwest. Another massive atmospheric river moving through. Washington state levees already under pressure from back-to-back storms could give way and trigger more flooding. And once again, no one has the winning ticket for last night's Powerball. The jackpot now $1.25 billion. The next drawing tomorrow night. You're listening to AB.
It's the ultimate Cardinals weekend. The 29th winter warm-up, January 17th and 18th at Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village. Experience 2 days of non-stop Cardinals excitement, from clubhouse tours and Hall of Fame and museum access to autographs, auctions, memorabilia, and more. Join the fun. Meet your favorite players and support Cardinals Care, helping kids across the community. Admission tickets are on sale now. Visit cardinals.com/WWU to be part of the action.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to laurenrisleyrealty.com.
47 degrees at 11:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Arguments were heard yesterday in the Missouri NAACP's lawsuit over the special legislative session that resulted in the passage of the state's new congressional map. The NAACP claims that Governor Mike Kehoe illegally ordered the special session, where he called lawmakers to approve a new congressional map that divided Kansas City among 3 U.S. House districts. St. Louis County unveiled new Narcan vending machines today. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page says this is in response to a, quote, troubling spike in overdose deaths. An early morning massive fire is to blame for destroying a historic home in Wentzville. Officials say the over 100-year-old structure wasn't occupied. The lack of fire hydrants hampered efforts in fighting the fire, with water having to be trucked in. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. What's considered the highest civilian honor for heroism is going to 2 men from St. Louis this year.
2 men from St. Louis have each been awarded the Carnegie Medal for Heroism for what they did after witnessing a plane crash. In December of 2024, a Cessna crash-landed in a Columbia, Illinois field, ending up upside down and on fire. That's when 35-year-old Clayton Poindexter and his brother-in-law, 33-year-old Mark Amoroso, rushed to the rescue. They lifted up a wing enough to pull off the canopy off the burning plane and pulled out the pilot, 71-year-old Michael Brenner. He had bad burns and required an amputation of both legs below the knee, but his life had been saved. The 2 heroes from St. Louis suffered minor cuts and smoke inhalation. Neither sought medical treatment. The Carnegie Medal is considered North America's highest civilian honor for heroism. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
Governor Kehoe has signed an executive order temporarily suspending the hours of service regulations for commercial motor vehicles transporting residential heating fuel in Missouri. In a released statement, he said that significant disruptions on the pipeline system that supplies Missouri with heating fuel has resulted in transporters needing to travel farther to secure product for Missourians. The Ladue School District has a new leader.
The Ladue Board of Education has named Dr. Jeffrey Macy as its next superintendent. He replaces Dr. Jim Whipke, who recently announced his retirement. Macy currently serves as the Assistant Superintendent of Business and Finance for Ladue Schools, a role that he's held since 2021. Macy will officially begin his new position on July 1st. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
And the Illinois Treasurer's Office is encouraging residents to make a gift of education this holiday season with the Bright Start 529 savings account. Contributions to a young person's account are made on a mobile phone app. According to a study by the Center for Social Development at Washington University, a child who knows they have a college savings account is about 3 times more likely to attend college. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The Service Employees International Union Local 1 have ratified a new contract for some 1,600 janitors with a coalition of cleaning companies. The St. Louis Business Journal reports that the new contract includes a 43% increase to pension contributions and a monthly premium for medical coverage that is cut almost in half. Now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is down 142 points at 48,274. NASDAQ down 5 at 23,050, and the S&P 500 down 17 at 6,799. In sports, Mizzou running back Ahmad Hardy has been named an Associated Press first-team All-American. Right tackle Keegan Trost was named third-team All-American. And the Blues lost to Nashville 5-2. Weather-wise, we're looking for a high today near 56, mostly cloudy tonight, and overnight low around 37. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 55. At 11:07, sunshine, 47 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
Fielder Electric Services has been meeting the needs of residents and businesses in the St. Louis area since 1987. As a family and Christian-run business, Fielder Electric believes in treating the customers the right way. Fielder Electric provides service to residential, industrial, or commercial businesses. Under the directive of a licensed master electrician, all work is completed by our professional electricians. Get a free quote from them today. Visit them online at fielderelectricservices.com or give them a call at 314-773-5185.
Experience the warmth of holiday traditions with Prairie Farms flavored milk, eggnog, and custard. The taste of tradition is here with seasonal flavor sensations just in time for the holidays. Prairie Farms flavored milk, eggnog, and custard recipes start with rich and creamy dairy milk blended with the finest ingredients for an indulgent and seasonal delight. Enjoy them on their own or as part of your favorite cocktail for a festive touch. Then visit prairiefarms.com and enter the Taste of Tradition tab for a chance to win a KitchenAid stand mixer. Enjoy the holidays with locally made, naturally delicious Prairie Farms flavored milk, eggnog, and custard.
Hi, I'm Matt Beatty, owner of Beatty Roofing, and we are proud to support Light Up Glennon. With over 70 years of experience, we have the best team and fleet in our industry. We provide smart project management, delivering commercial and residential projects on schedule, on budget, and done right. We always strive to exceed client expectations and have relationships with a diverse range of roofing material manufacturers, which allows us to utilize the optimal materials your roof will require. Call 314-892-1331 or visit us online at BeattyRoofing.com. Have a blessed holiday season.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar and United Healthcare will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, the second hour of the Frank and Jill Show on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550 KTRS. 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 KTRS.
Joe Holloman joins us now from the Post-Dispatch. Joe, of course, the big sad story of the country over the last 72 hours, the passing of Rob Reiner and his wife, allegedly killed by their son. But when we think of Rob Reiner, for many of us of a certain age, we think of Mike Stivic as the son-in-law of Archie Bunker. I can remember the line where she said to Edith, Mrs. Bunker, I'm an agnostic. And then he said, well, what does that mean? And he says, Archie said, I think it means he can't have babies. What a TV show and what a role he played before he became this incredible director and producer.
Yeah, well, you know, that family, I guess if it's possible to inherit it, excuse me, Rob Reiner's father, Carl Reiner, was one of the original funny people who influenced so much comedy going down the line. And then Rob Reiner, from his stint on All in the Family, and then when he started making these movies, and they weren't just, you know, a lot of people go behind the camera, but I think he and I always think, when I talk of him, I always think of Ron Howard, of people who, you know, were good performers, went behind the camera, and you start to think, well, can they really do it? And ended up becoming excellent directors. And so that's what I like. And of course, movies like probably the one that sticks out to me when it comes to Rob Reiner is one of my 10 funniest movies of all time. This is Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
That documentary, I can watch that at any time. It's like my cousin Vinny. I can turn it on at any point and it'll make me laugh, even though I know every single line, every single scene. It never ceases to be funny. So, and then probably Princess Bride is also another one of those movies that, if I had to take movies to a desert island and I was limited, those two movies would be in the box of CDs.
You just made two very, very excellent choices. And how do you feel as a true Spinal Tap fan? How do you feel about the 2025 mockumentary remake, Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues? Do you think they should have left it alone, or what are your thoughts?
I don't know yet because I haven't seen it. I've kind of been putting it off. I had a gut. I will eventually watch it. My gut feeling was you should have left it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really, when you say that, it's not like, I tend to dislike sequels because it's usually always a bad idea. Most of them come with, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 7, Marvel 9, and it's a money grab. And, what happens is you make a great movie and someone says, my God, we got to go back to that well and get some more cash. And the second one usually ends up maybe being kind of okay, but it's never like the first one. Of course, there are exceptions. Please, Godfather and Terminated, people, keep your seats. And then the third one usually tends to be abysmal. But so I'm going to watch it. But my gut feeling is I'm trying not to go into it, as I think they should have left it alone.
But I think we'll be glad to see Rob Reiner again, given what happened. I think I was a little bit feeling that way too, and now I'm like, I'm definitely going to watch it just because he appears in it, and it's one of the last things we'll get to see him in.
I think that's a very good point. I wouldn't have thought of doing it until this happened.
Speaking of things from the 1970s, we just had in studio for about 20 minutes Jane Kennedy. And I'm sure again, as of age, were when she came on the screen, you watched, correct?
Sure. I remember it being, not only was she attractive, but I remember Phyllis George and Jane were kind of the ones that was like, oh, there's females on football and sports, and now there's a ton of them in there. But back in the 70s, that was unusual. And Jane Kennedy and Phyllis George were two that I remember, and they also seemed to know what they were talking about. So, as opposed to, let's hire someone for a quote-unquote pretty face. And so, they were part of my sports experience back when I was in, high school and college.
Of course, we always like to get your take on all the things, but also interesting to hear a little bit of behind the scenes of what you've been reporting on, which includes Steve Butts getting some pretty big endorsements. What do you think of that?
Yeah, there's a race for state senate, which basically takes in the southwest part of St. Louis, sort of south of Forest Park, west of Tower Grove. then goes out into Clayton and Richmond Heights, Maplewood. And Steve Butts is a state representative who is term limited. He's going for the state Senate. He's running against Gina Minton, who was a state representative who was termed out in 2021 and is now coming back to run for the state Senate. Certainly when you look at those areas, certainly in the city part of that senatorial district, which I believe is the fourth, it's law and order and public safety and responding to emergencies is a very big deal. And it's something that's come up more in recent years with just the notion of people responding, cities or government entities responding to our needs. And so the idea that all three police organizations, the county union, the city union, and the Ethical Society of Police, which represents officers of color, all three of those police groups, and both union locals that represent firefighters in the city and the county, have all endorsed Steve Butts. He also right now has about a 3.5 to 4 to 1 fundraising margin. So it would certainly seem that by taking this in, he seems to right now would be the person, if you had to say who would you project, it certainly seems like Steve Butts. But, Gina Minton's a veteran politician with experience, so there are things down the line. It does seem to be a case of sort of they're both Democrats, by the way. It's a heavily Democrat district. But it certainly seems to have fallen along the lines of Minton, the liberal Democrat, accusing Butts, the conservative Democrat, of sort of being, to flip the coin, a Democrat in name only, and sort of trying to paint him as definitely a conservative and at the very least a Republican sort of candidate. Interesting, but it never hurts to have police officers and firefighters backing your play.
So did you just come up with a new? Should we trademark that right now? Dino instead of Rhino?
Yeah, maybe I did. Let's throw the copyright on there and see how that lasts. But I'll say yes. There's so many firsts that I failed to copyright. You wouldn't believe it. So.
So I would think being a member of the media would be a good background for going into political life. Number one, you have name recognition. And number two, you're probably okay in handling press conferences and speaking to people because that's what you did in your career. So now we have the former voice of Real Rock Radio, Randy Raley, running against U.S. Representative Mary Miller.
Yeah, you always, first of all, there's nobody who ever covered politics who didn't think they could do just a great job at being a politician. But I certainly think, and especially if you're talking about like you two, radio and television folks, not only are you two just both incredibly good looking and appealing, you're used to talking. And then that's half the game at the very least of being a politician, is being able to stand up in front of an audience and not get shook. And so I think that people, especially radio and television folks, are sort of primed for that. And as we see it now, the celebrity as politician is no rarity anymore, going back, of course, to Ronald Reagan, and so I would think that Randy's not going to get shook by anything he's going to run into on the campaign trail, though then again, usually in radio, you're not staring at the 500 angry people right in front of you. They're just on phone lines. But, I always think it'd fit real well. I think if there's a problem for Mr. Raley is he's one of four in the Democratic primary, which in Illinois comes up in March. This is for the district in Illinois that covers the very northern part of the Metro East area, Madison County. The problem is it is an overwhelmingly Republican district. So obviously his first step would be to come out as one of the four people in the Democratic primary. But the last time Mary Miller had no opposition in the Republican primary or the general election, the two general elections she won before that, I believe she got 71 and 74%. So if there's any challenge here, it won't be a lack of Mr. Raley having the talent and the abilities. It'll be what that district is made up of. So
good stuff.
that's
Hey,
the part.
Joe, did I have it right when we were texting yesterday about getting your schedule right? That if I'm looking at the quote here, Frank should never doubt Jill again. That's shameful. I would say shameful for him to doubt her. Is that an accurate quote? Would you say that we need to
That is
kind of
an
live by?
absolute 104% accurate quote. And when I couldn't believe that Frank was doubting Jill Farmer, so I wanted to set that straight. I was going to post that on the internet and put it on our roof and lights, but I just haven't had the time,
Yeah.
Jill. I mean, how dare you, Frank?
You'd be making a career decision there, Joe. It'd be a bad idea.
Hey, Joe, we will miss you. I'm teasing because we were just getting your holiday schedule out. We will miss you in the next 2 weeks, but we really hope that you take some time to enjoy your family and your life as you wrap up 2025. And on behalf of Frank, we're really grateful that you take the time to join us and inform and entertain our listeners every single week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's a pleasure every Tuesday, and I hope that Jill and Frank, I hope that you and everybody who listens has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a blessed whatever other holiday you may celebrate. So,
Good stuff, Joe. We'll talk soon. Thank you, sir.
take care, man.
Here's a reason to celebrate. They have so much good food at 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery that you don't have to worry about what you're eating for lunch. If you're like me, your stomach started rumbling, I don't know, about 40 minutes ago. And as you get closer and closer and closer to when you take that break for lunch, it's all you can think about. Well, you can let that go because we already have the plan for you. A delicious lunch made with some of the best barbecue in the entire St. Louis region. And I promise you, perhaps the best dessert you're ever going to put in your mouth because they have homemade, delicious, off-the-charts desserts as well, which is why it's 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Located very conveniently here in Central West County, Phillips 66 station at Clayton Road and 141. Some of our favorite people, Rick and Carol Gross, of course, they've owned the station for a long time. Also foodies, love food, did a food truck, and then about 10 years ago, people said, please, please, please make a restaurant in the back of the gas station. They did. We get to enjoy it now. Keep them in mind for not only a delicious lunch today or any other day this week, but also for your holiday plans. Let them cater your party. Let them cater the event. Let them just take a load off mom who's doing everything as it relates to the holiday, and let them give you some of the delicious food that you guys will enjoy and create some memories together as a family. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Check them out online or give them a call today and get your catering. Give them a call today and get your catering order in. Lots more after this.
The University of Missouri St. Louis offers academic programs at the undergraduate, graduate, doctoral, and professional levels to fit any passion, purpose, and schedule. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu. Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
It's the holiday season at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. If you're coming to St. Charles for shopping or Christmas traditions, make Gingham's a must-stop. Quality homestyle meals and heartwarming soups prepared and served by our excellent staff. And the best pies around. Make this holiday season special at Gingham's. Wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. From the owners, management, and staff at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Christmas, everyone.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
As if you need another reason to go to Appliance Discounters, they always have the lowest prices in town. Plus, take an extra 5% off an instant rebate when you purchase from Appliance Discounters. They also have factory rebates up to $1,500. They have next-day delivery, 18 months interest-free financing, the #1 appliance retailer in the region, theappliancediscounters.com. 6 locations, 5% off starting today. TheApplianceDiscounters.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. It's been very busy. In the last few weeks, the listeners have been calling, and I've been showing up. I bought several Corvettes, Vipers, Mopars, and even an entire collection directly out of listeners' garages. I'm still looking for more, too. If you have an interesting vehicle to sell, call us or hop on our site today. We'll come right to your house if need be. We're busy selling, too. Black Friday specials are already in full effect with financing rates as low as 3.99 up to 66 months on 2019 or newer models for those who qualify. Time to buy and sell right now.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at SteelUSA.com.
Want a song?
Surround my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Easy for me to say. Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano, Josh Gilbert in for the second hour of the Frank and Jill Show today. Connor, unfortunately, he's a healthy guy, but unfortunately succumbed to something, wasn't able to make it today. Josh and Carl split the show, helping us out today. Thanks, Josh G, for being here.
It is my pleasure.
It is our pleasure,
Jill and Frank.
too. It's, of course, we miss Connor when he's not here, but if he's not going to be here, getting Carl and Josh is a real treat for everybody. Tell us something good about our friends at Bommarito, Frank.
All right. Well, I just saw the Bommaritos. They were at the Billiken game on Saturday night. It's really a testament. They are so St. Louis that they are huge supporters of every sporting venue, from the Blues, Cardinals, Billikens, all of the racing events. And I think it's one thing to have 20 great dealerships and giving flawless service. It's another to actually be at these events and really, cheering for St. Louis. So they've just done magnificent things in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, you talk to them for 30 seconds and you just know they love this region, and that's infectious. In a place where we sometimes like to point out the flaws, to be around people like that who've been wildly successful, who want us to focus on the good stuff, it's pretty inspiring, isn't it?
You're right.
And we've got a really fun restaurant coming up on Thursday. It's Bud's Place, some of the best pizza around. Is that right?
Really good. Big Kuna customer, and they have those garlic little puffs that are really good.
Garlic knots?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You had me at garlic anything, but anytime you put garlic and bread together, freshly baked.
You had me at puffs.
Yeah.
So Josh will be in here at 11:15.
Yeah, I'll just be like, oh, hey, guys, I was just picking up something here. I happened to just
need anything? Oh, nuts.
Yeah. We've been talking about how we love some of the great voices of our time and great musicians of our time, and we love them especially this time of year when they put their touch on some of the great holiday classics. So for today's song of the day, Michael Bublé is singing a little Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Isn't that fun? Just the big band sound of that.
He had a good line. We saw him in concert at Enterprise once, and he said, I know a lot of you guys out there make it seem like you're not really that excited to be here, but you'll thank me later in the night.
And did you, Frank?
I did, yes. He's a good man. I love him.
Oh, that's too good. Do you ever are you ever listening or watching something on your phone and you're getting into it and you don't realize somebody's walking by? When I was pulling the sound on that and listening to it, I was bopping and singing along a little bit, and then somebody walks by and I wasn't paying attention, and then they stopped and backed up and looked at me and they said, "What in the heck are you rocking out to?" And I was like,
health issue there.
I was like, a little Michael Bublé is getting my toe tapping today, so it's a good one. We've been talking quite a bit about Peter Attia. I like him a lot. He's a doctor that talks a lot about having a healthy a health span, which means you live your life doing what you want to do until the very end and not so worried about the lifespan, which is how long you're here. Because if you end your life, if your life ends and you're not doing the things that you would like to be doing, he says that quality of life is something we all need to be more intentional about. So he was on 60 Minutes recently. You've been reading and listening to some of his podcasts as well, right, Frank?
Yep.
And one of the things he doesn't do that a lot of other people who make a lot of money in his business, like he does on health and lifestyle, is he doesn't give you just like a real simple formula. He really takes the data and says you got to figure some of this stuff out for yourself. And so I thought it was interesting what he had to say about how much all of us should be exercising.
Exercise. It is clear to me that you could exercise 30 minutes a day, 3.5 hours a week, and achieve exceptional results. But you're going to have to be very focused in what you do. And I will say that I can't imagine a scenario by which only 30 minutes a day is going to produce exceptional results if those 30-minute sessions are you on the treadmill at the gym watching the news, humming and hawing, smoking and joking. No, those 30 minutes a day are going to have to be very focused, and they're going to have to be at a high degree of specificity for whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So when
That's
you're
good
lifting,
stuff.
you're really
It is. I have to be there. I had a friend in college who would always say, let's go over to the gym together. And so I would go with her. And something that probably the listeners don't need to know about me or you guys, but I'm going to tell you anyway, is I sweat a lot. I'm a very sweaty person. So when I work out, I sweat a lot. So my friend, unbeknownst to me, we're in college.
How feminine. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
know, exactly. It's really great. So we go to, I don't know what it was, probably an aerobics class or what we were doing. And I'm sweating like a pig and do not look good by any shape, by any standard. She who does not sweat, and by the way, her idea of a workout was not necessarily doing anything that was going to create much of a sweat. She invites two boys that we think are kind of cute to meet us and say, hey, why don't you meet us over at the Bell Center, which was the rec center, and then maybe we can go over to the dining hall together. She doesn't tell me about any of this. They come. She's looking like Olivia Newton-John at the beginning of the video. I look like I've been drugged behind a car and then dunked in the sewer. And you know, I'm just sweating from every place you can possibly. I don't smell good, and my hair is so wet. The guy who I think is really cute looks at me and says, "Wait, did you just get out of the shower?" I was like, "No." And you're about to find out if you get close enough to smell me that has not happened. So I do have to say, it's the truth. It's just
Well,
how
that means
I
you're
am.
getting a good workout, though.
Yeah, thank you.
You're doing exactly what Dr. Attia said.
Yes, thank you for putting a positive spin on that. Speaking of a positive spin, you know, I think something that's changed a lot for the positive in the last, I would say, couple of decades in our country is we no longer talk about, oh, somebody had to go to senior living as if it's a negative thing. A lot of us go, hey, I think I'm ready, because what we observe is senior living today is not what it was even 2 decades ago. It's getting better and better and better all the time. And one of the organizations that has completely led the pack on this, not only in St. Louis, but for the entire country, even though they're based here in St. Louis, are our friends at McKnight Place and the Gatesworth property of senior living, assisted living, and memory care, which of course includes the Gatesworth, McKnight Place, and Park Provence as well. And what they say over and over and over again is this is not something that you just have to do because you're forced to in a season of life. Senior living and senior living communities are places where vibrancy needs to be front and center, where people are thriving, where people are coming out of situations where they're leaving behind the stuff that's no longer serving them, like home maintenance and the expense and the monotony of home maintenance, and being freed up to do more of the things they love doing, like hang out in community, go to happy hour every single night, listen to live music in their own shared community, reunite with old friends or make new friends, which we know is one of the keys to thriving in our senior years. And it's really inspiring to get to learn from them and to hang out with them and understand how intentional they are about making senior living be the pinnacle for many people of their lived experience, not something that just has to happen when you reach a certain age. Start the conversation today. Set up your tour today. McKnightPlace.com, 314-993-3333.
Telcobuy.com LLC seeks a senior developer to design, develop, test, and maintain web apps. This position is remote and can be performed from a home office. Reports to HQ in Maryland Heights, Missouri. Need bachelor's in computer science, system science and engineering, computer engineering, or related, and 5 years experience in web and software development or any field where experience gained, plus demonstrated experience. Email shelley.hayhurst@wwt.com and reference BHC25 in the subject.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've got some important news from our friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. You know they're locally owned and family operated. More importantly, they've been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. That great offer that they have on windows at Dalco has now been extended through the end of the month, so you can still earn a $600 tax credit on new windows. Plus, Dalco has upped the ante to an additional $260 credit per window for up to 10 of their Elite Series windows with 0% financing for up to 18 months. That's up to $3,200 in credits. The Energy Star tax credit offer is ending forever and will not return. So you've got to act fast. This incredible offer ends through the end of the month. So you call today, 314-298-7300 to get up to $3,200 in credits for up to 10 new energy-efficient windows. Or go online, DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. If you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved with Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call 314-298-7300. See store for details.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle. Custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
You almost died. You have a compound fracture of the tibia in both legs, and the fibula in the right leg is fractured too. And as soon as the road's open, I'll take you to a hospital. In the meantime, you've got a lot of recovering to do. There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine. I'm your #1 fan. My name is Annie Wilkes.
I think one of my clients, Paul Sheldon, might be in some kind of trouble.
You mean Paul Sheldon, the writer? Well, everybody sure likes those misery books.
They had it at the store, Paul.
They said he checked out last Tuesday. Isn't that a little strange?
I guess it was kind of a miracle you finding me.
In a way, I was following you.
You were following me?
Oh, Paul, I've read everything of yours, but the misery novels. You must be...
The name of the movie, Misery. In the House, Tariq Khan. You have chosen one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely a top 10. Good work. First of all, let's begin with Stephen King, because I think we don't think about Stephen King. We think about, James Caan and, of course, Kathy Bates. But gosh, did that man write some movies? I mean, we think about his books, but Shawshank Redemption, The Shining, The Green Mile, Carrie, Stand By Me. And this probably was his spookiest and scariest.
Absolutely. And in fact, it's the only Stephen King movie to actually ever win an Academy Award for Best Actress for Kathy Bates. And a quick story, this is fascinating. There was an interview that Kathy Bates did shortly after the movie came out, and she said that when the book by Stephen King first hit stands in 1987, a friend of hers gave her a copy of the book and said, here you go. When they make a movie, you can play Annie Wilkes. And Kathy Bates said, yeah, right. And the rest is history. I mean, what a gripping thriller, terrifying at times, and just a genius performance from Kathy Bates and James Caan as well. Misery, really one of the great Stephen King and one of the great horror films of all time.
Yeah, it really, I've forgotten how just the premise of it is so good and it's so interesting. Reading a little bit in researching for this conversation in our Back to the Future segment with Tarek Khan every 2 weeks, which we love, and we know you guys do too. Stephen King has said that the character of this sort of crazy woman who is obsessed and won't leave the James Caan character alone was supposed to be a metaphor for his own drug addiction, specifically his cocaine addiction. And I thought that was really, as I was thinking about that as I was watching it, I thought that was kind of a very powerful way to express that metaphor.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, it's funny, Stephen King, he was so happy with Kathy Bates' performance. You know, she was not a well-known actress at the time. She'd appeared in a handful of films, small roles, but most moviegoers had no idea who she was. So her casting after Angelica Houston and Bette Midler, some big names, turned down the...
Unbelievable.
I
How
know.
could Bette Midler play this?
I know, yes. She turned down the role, but she later on said she regretted it. But Kathy Bates was cast, and I think audiences were just blown away. And I think actually it worked really well because as a viewer of the film, you kind of put yourself in the position of James Caan, the writer, who's being held there captive. And there's this crazy woman now who's at first saved him, but now turns out to be just absolutely psychotic. And you as an audience member, the fact that you don't know Kathy Bates at all, it actually, I think, actually made it more effective because you really had no idea what to expect. There was just no history really had with this woman as an actress. And so it made Annie Wilkes all the more terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying and Hoosiery and just unrefined, like Dom Perignon. She had one line that I loved. Who's the Dago that painted the ceiling? She asked that to James Caan in the movie. Her words, Mr. Man or Dirty Bird.
Exactly. The things she said, like, oh, forgive me for, for prattling away and, making you feel all oogie. I mean, the things she said,
Yeah.
I saw it in theaters Christmas Day back in 1990, and I remember people actually laughing because there really was a lot of humor in the film, and so many of the things that she said, were just so from a different time. In fact, her costumes, she looked like she was something out of the late 1900s or late 1800s or early 1900s. The character was just so fascinating and funny and, scary at the same time.
So put it in a little bit of context because we talked before. We watched it as one of our Back to the Future segments. We watched Friday the 13th and sort of talked about the genre of horror film. To me, this was a crossover film because even though Stephen King, was known for writing scary novels, this had enormous widespread appeal beyond people who would have just been the sort of Friday the 13th crowd as well. Do you find that to be true?
Yes, Jill, absolutely. This was not a slasher film by any means. It really was more in the lines of almost a Hitchcock film. And in fact, in rewatching it, I noticed some similarities. Sometimes when Kathy Bates was, giving dialogue, the camera would get closer and closer on her face, and it kind of reminded me of some of Hitchcock's great films, including Psycho, which we discussed recently. So, yeah, it was a movie which definitely transcended the horror genre, and it really was a thriller. But there was, just enough of those horrifying, shocking moments. Of course, the hobbling of the ankles. I think a scene which was hard for people to watch back then, and still is today. The one that we can't stop talking about.
And it was different in the book. They cut it off.
Yes. In the book, she had, I guess, chopped off one of his feet and I guess hobbled the other. But I think the filmmakers apparently they decided that it would be too much. That it would make the audiences hate the character of Annie Wilkes, and they wanted to sort of sympathize with her as being just a crazy person. So I think actually the hobbling was actually scarier than if she just chopped them off. So
yeah, so that's definitely the most talked about scene. I'll tell you what, though, one of the best scenes was after she just beaten the holy tar out of him, she's pulling in almost like a housewife coming into the home, and the husband's looking out the window, but this guy's in a wheelchair and she'd beaten the tar out of him, and she says, "Honey, I'm home," and then he just gives her the middle finger. I never laughed so hard. in my
exactly
life.
right. She kind of laughs it off, right?
Yeah.
So. Yes. And there's a scene where after she's done all these horrible things to him, including the hobbling, and she says to him, she goes, "I do everything for you. I tend to you 24 hours a day. I, cook for you. I clean you. When are we going to just, develop a sense of trust?" And it's just hilarious that this character thinks that they actually have a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite characters in the rewatch for this segment, when we rewatched the movie for this segment, is Sheriff Buster, who's played by veteran actor Richard Farnsworth. He's just such a great character, and you're rooting for him, and you know he's going to be the one who saves the day, and then he meets an untimely and negative end thanks to the Kathy Bates character. But he was really, really good in this as well. Lauren Bacall has a small but very
Yes.
pivotal role as well. But it's really all about Kathy Bates and James Caan in this movie for the most part, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it really is, and it's interesting that so many big names actually turned down the part of Paul
Warren
Sheldon.
Beatty?
Well, yes, he apparently was in talks for it, and I guess had to drop out because Dick Tracy came out that same year and was extended. The delays in post production. So, but I think Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman, Kevin Kline, William Hurt was offered the role twice. So many great
they thought
actors.
it was a little
who,
too grisly, they said.
apparently, right? Yeah. So
I
but-
heard Warren Beatty didn't want to do it partially because it would make him look less appealing. A guy just getting the tar kicked out of him in a bed, looking terrible the whole time, and
Right, yeah,
he was
yeah.
so vain about his appearance.
Sure. Apparently, he wanted the role to be like less passive. So I think, he would have been great. But I think James Caan was actually great casting in the film because he was terrific, and he was someone who he made you obviously sympathize with him. But at the same time, what was going on in his mind? I mean, he didn't overdo it any time. He underplayed it. The terror that character must have felt, and he was terrific in the performance. He was not nominated, but I think he would have been worthy of a nomination as well.
To nitpick just a tad, if Paul Sheldon is this famous writer, almost like Stephen King or John Grisham, why isn't there more of a search for him?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and of course, there were mentions, about, that the search was going on for him in the newspaper articles and whatnot. But you think it would have been bigger. So maybe at the time though he wasn't quite, maybe he wasn't quite in the Stephen
But
King
also,
level.
you guys think about the timing, right? There were no cell phones. He had gone off grid to write this. He was supposedly going to be road tripping between Colorado and New York, so he could have been a lot of places and just chosen not to plug in. I didn't think that was. John thinks the most unbelievable thing is that he would choose to drive a '65 Mustang on the snowy roads, which ultimately led to the accident.
What a cool opening with the Temptations in the background and that
Yes.
'65 Mustang. I mean, if that doesn't grab your attention, wow.
Yeah, it really is. Let's talk Oscars because Tariq Khan is an
Absolutely.
Oscar expert here. What was the Oscar buzz around this? Who won? Who lost? Who got
Okay,
nominated?
Jill, this is fascinating because when the movie came out at the end of 1990, I remember reading in People magazine there was a quick interview with Kathy Bates, and they asked her, what do you make of all the Oscar buzz for your performance? And I thought, Oscar buzz, for Misery? I mean, she was great, but I didn't really see this as an Oscar performance. And she had quoted that, I'm trying not to think about it. And sure enough, she was nominated for the Golden Globe, which she won. She was nominated for the Oscar for Best Actress, the only nomination for Misery, alongside Angelica Houston in The Grifters, Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, Meryl Streep in Postcards from the Edge, and Joanne Woodward and Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. And most pundits thought the race was between Angelica Houston, who, by the way, turned down the Kathy Bates role, and Joanne Woodward. And going into the Oscars, it wasn't clear which one had the edge. Kathy Bates was kind of seen as a dark horse, but Daniel Day-Lewis opened the envelope and said the Oscar goes to Kathy Bates. And I think most people were surprised that the Academy went for a film like this. I mean, the year before, Jessica Tandy had won Best Actress for Driving Miss Daisy, so their tastes tend to be pretty conservative, at least they were at that time. So for them to go with, this kind of performance was really surprising. But I think it was just that, it was just a testament to how powerful that performance was. I mean, the range she showed, it was just so intense. And also, too, she made Annie Wilkes very human. I mean, at times there were some quieter moments where she gave dialogue and talked about, the rain and how she knew that Paul Sheldon would eventually leave her. And she really was, just brilliant.
Yeah, and the fight scenes were unbelievable. I mean, he swung his broken leg to actually trip her. And then I double-checked this morning because when I watched it, I thought, this does look a little different. Do you know that she's a switch hitter? She hit him as a right-handed hitter the first time, and then the second collect, she went left-handed, which is a pretty good skill there.
Very good, very good. And by the way, I must acknowledge the fact that when she won the Academy Award, she did thank Rob Reiner, the director of Misery, for giving her a chance. Of course, his death here is shocked the world. But Rob Reiner, he really did take a chance on her because she wasn't a big name, and she knocked it out of the park. By the way, in her speech as well, she said, "I'd like to thank James Caan and apologize publicly for the ankles." And then she added, and I'd like to say, Jimmy, I really am your number one fan. So it was a great speech from her, a great moment.
Really good. I think we would be remiss before we let you go, even though you mentioned Rob Reiner, of course, and his role in this. You'd coincidentally chosen this movie, and then who knew it would unfortunately end up being timely from a news perspective as well. What are your thoughts about Rob Reiner and the impact he had on the movie industry, Tarek? And if you would, favorite or a couple favorite movies of his that he was involved in?
Oh, well, of course, I think moviegoers remember Reiner's work for so many classics. You think about it. I mean, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, I mean, Misery, A Few Good Men, a Best Picture nominee. I mean, he was just, really one of the great, directors, of our time. And one who, he never won the Academy Award, but his films...
He never won an Academy Award?
He never won. A Few Good Men was nominated for Best Picture. He was not nominated for Best Director, which was, kind of a big surprise at the time. But even though the Academy didn't maybe, embrace him as much, I think audiences will always remember his classic films. And for me, my all-time favorite, When Harry Met Sally. I mean, you just can't get better than that. I mean, his work as a director, the writing, the directing, the performances, that's just an absolute classic of the 20th century.
Joe Holloman brought it up. He made the comparison of Ron Howard, actor,
Yes.
been a big hit TV show, and then became a director. Anybody else in that elite group where they were an actor and then they became a full-time director and were unbelievable at it, or is that a table for
well,
two?
Of course, there are some other famous actors who went on to win Oscars for directing, like Robert Redford and Kevin Costner and Mel Gibson. But yeah, I suppose Rob Reiner follows that same trajectory as Ron Howard. And honestly, I'm sure there's others, but no other big ones come to mind the way that Rob Reiner does.
Well, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much. You're the best at what you do.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Yeah, our listeners love having you, and we love having you, Tarek, and we look forward to a very fun 2026 of going back and rewatching some great movies and having these conversations with you every couple of weeks. Thanks so much for being with
Thank
you,
you,
and happy
folks.
holidays to you as well. Hey, several people have been asking me as I've started talking about 20 Minutes to Fitness. Hey, Jill, wait, does this really work, or how does it work? 20 Minutes to Fitness, a fitness studio. You build strength and bone density, just one 20-minute session a week. And most people think in order to get fit, you got to be at the gym 3 to 5 days a week. That feels like too much. So guess what? We just don't do it. The great thing about 20 Minutes to Fitness, it uses scientific-based strength training methods, and you achieve the same, or in my case, probably better results in just one 20-minute session a week. You work out with a personal trainer by your side. They set the equipment for you on every single exercise. Make sure you use absolutely perfect form. Encourage you. They track your performance, so you're constantly getting stronger, getting better. You train on high-end physical therapy equipment that takes each of your major muscle groups to exhaustion. During your time off during the week, your muscle is rebuilding and growing stronger. I am loving it. I look forward to my workouts, which is not something that I can often say because I just know that I'm making faster progress than I ever have on anything else that I have done in terms of exercise in the past. Check them out today online. 20 Minutes to Fitness locations in both Chesterfield and in Clayton. Don't go away. We got more coming up in the show right after this.
It's the year-end clearance event at Miller Furniture and Mattress. Save up to 50% off now through January 4th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, save up to 50% off on in-stock furniture store-wide, including last-minute holiday gifts, sofa sleepers, or dining tables for your family gathering.
Also save on custom orders from brands like Flexsteel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more. Plus, up to 60 months financing.
Save up to 25% on the largest selection of in-stock lift chairs from great brands like Flexsteel.
Right now, save 50% on select Chatham & Wells floor models. Plus, save up to $800 off select adjustable mattress sets from Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster.
Visit any of our 4 showrooms in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville to save on over $8 million of inventory, and you'll save up to 50% off in-stock furniture and mattresses.
Don't miss the year-end clearance event at Miller Furniture, now through January 4th.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Big news, St. Louis. When it comes to selling your home fast, for cash, and as is, the community has spoken. Robank Properties LLC has just been voted Best of the West by the readers of the West News. Why? Because at Robank Properties, we keep it simple. No repairs, no cleanup, no showings, no waiting on banks. Just a fair cash offer fast. Inherited a property? Facing a move? Tired of being a landlord? Or just ready for a hassle-free sale? Robank Properties is your trusted local buyer. Committed to honesty, transparency, and making the process painless from start to finish. And now, thanks to you, we're officially Best of the West. So if you're thinking about selling, call the team your neighbors voted #1, Robank Properties LLC, cash buyers of homes as is. Visit us online or call today for your no-obligation cash offer at robankproperties.com or call Mike at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Robank Properties LLC, we make selling simple.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer. Wednesday the 17th, Frank and I will be heading to Worldwide Technologies headquarters for our annual holiday show. We'll catch up with some of the folks at Worldwide Technology and learn more about some of the amazing things they're doing around the world and right here in our backyard. That's December 17th. Frank and Jill go on the road to Worldwide Technology.
For all of your travel needs, you go to the best travel agency in the world. Granted, I'm a little biased. Altair Travel and Cruises. They'll take you wherever you want to go in style. They'll handle all the details. You handle all the fun. Don't go to the Googles. Don't make that mistake. It all starts at Altair Travel and Cruises on Brentwood Boulevard, 314-968-9600. Anywhere you want to go, let Altair Travel take you. AltairTravel.com.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Dogtown! Dogtown pizza, that is. Stuff your stockings this year with one of 13 festive flavors. You know, 4 meat and sausage, hot chicken and bacon. But do you recall my most favorite flavor of all? Pepperoni, peppercini. So let's all conspire as we eat by the fire. We'll frolic and play the Dogtown way. Make this holiday season a Dogtown wonderland. Happy holidays and Merry Dogtown!
Let's talk about legacy. Yingling, 196 years of brewing. So meet the next generation of light beer. Flight, just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Flight is crisp, clean, and actually tastes like beer. It's time to level up, St. Louis. Flight from Yingling.
A message from the master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newsetter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That is a very good version of that song. Nat King Cole. He's got to be in your short list of musicians you love. Frank
He's
Cusmano.
awesome. Yes, he's great. Just saw Randy Naughton walk by. She's got a little swagger. Her Buffalo Bills playing pretty well. A little bounce in her step. She's feeling good about life.
Yeah, she's filling in for Carney today. She and Julie are always awesome to listen to together. So you guys stick around for that. What's happening for you on the press box tonight and the rest of your day at KSDK?
Well, we got a good press box tonight. We're going to talk with Mike McKenna, one of the most knowledgeable hockey guys. He's going to dissect the Blues, former NHL goaltender, pride of Parkway South, NFL football conversation with Howard Balzer, a little Mizzou with Brendan Schaefer. We're going to interview Jane Kennedy on the television side, Mark Schreiber on the television side. We'll hear from Jim Montgomery, too. He had some beautiful things to say about Kelly Chase after the game last night. So that'll do it for this edition of the program. We will take a break, and we'll be back in 22.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home.